Welcome to War Games, hosted by the sales genius Joe Ingram. If you're looking to win the sales battle, then you have joined the right team. In the War Games group, we devise strategies for sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. We enlist the industries with you. Our single goal is to get you ready for your next sales opportunity. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that have crossed before you. Now, prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for the War Games to begin.
Are we playing games?
Hello, War Gamers. Joe Ingram. Okay, so today I am thoroughly excited, and you know I get excited anytime there's a guest on, but I got one from across the pond, I believe is how we say it, correct? From over in the UK. She's about an hour west of London. Her name is Chantal Cornelius. Chantal, I'll bring you up just so it's awkward a little bit for you. She's talking about me in front of everybody, but yes, I am. So I want to read a quick bio on Chantal because besides success that you can see right behind her, okay, she is the person that's going to help us today to learn from a different perspective, with her perspective. Yes. So Chantal knows that the key to standing out from competitors is to build a strong, long-lasting relationship with clients. Now, her mission is to help business owners like us, okay, that to actually realize the path to success doesn't involve churning out endless social content. I think a lot of us get on the hamster wheel of social media and just keep producing stuff thinking it's going to make a difference. And I think what she's going to share with us today is that with her writing and speaking, she introduces coaches to a different standout strategy. And so to me, I'm excited to learn what it is we can do that we're not going to be so stuck in repetition, and we can actually get something done that's going to mean something. So she's going to show us and explain to us the steps in order to stand out from our competitor by incorporating more emotion and empathy into their work. She's already had 2 books put out, which you're going to want to get. And then she's also got a third one that'll be coming out in 2024 that further explores the emotions behind clients, buying decisions. You know me, I always tell everybody it's the buying triggers. What's that emotional cue that gets them to buy something, right? And she's going to come on and help to validate that, right? When she's not showing her clients how to blow their own trumpets, Chantal can be found riding horses, walking her dog, or working in her garden. So basically, we're torturing her by bringing her inside today.
Yes,
because she'd rather be outside, but it is, as we discussed earlier, it's 7 something in the evening for you in the UK, so it would just be dark for her to sit outside to try to do the show there. So Chantal, thank you so much. I know we played juggling because we're on different sides of the world, but thank you so much for coming in to take the time today. Give us a little brief history other than what I've read as far as what got you into the point of saying, I need to help business owners do this.
Okay. Firstly, thanks, Joe. It's great to be here. And yes, it is. It's 7:20 in the evening, but it's all right. I went outside earlier. I had my fix of horses and dogs and playing in the garden, so we're all good for a while.
Fantastic.
What got me into all of this? I left university quite a few years ago, not really knowing what I wanted to do with myself. So I actually went to work with horses to train to be a riding instructor. And after 3 years, I planned to do it for about a year. And after 3 years, I got kind of sick of falling off other people's horses and being bitten and kicked by them. So I somehow managed to get, I never had a proper job, but I managed to get a job at a business college in Oxford, near where I live. And the guy who ran the college introduced me to marketing. I was there initially really as admin, and he said, "Oh, could you do some marketing for me?" And I was like, "What's marketing?" He taught me what marketing was all about, and I realized I really enjoyed it. So I worked with him for a few years, and then got headhunted by a bigger company, and then another one, and then I actually got made redundant from an absolute dream job and ended up in a job that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And after a while, I thought, I think I could do this on my own. I think I could set up my own business. And I had quite a few friends who'd done it. And so this was back in the year 2000 when I set up. And there were a lot of small businesses around, but it still felt very brave. That was 23 years ago, and I haven't really looked back. I've been doing it ever since because it's allowed me to work with a lot of very small businesses, lots of coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, and yeah, I'm still loving it and still having loads of fun doing it. Different every day.
That's amazing. And I do love the fact, because again, the horses became the boss, right? So you're used to the biting and the everything else. You're like, yeah, just like having an ungrateful boss that was there. But one thing that you pointed out that triggered as you were talking for me was, I was like, oh, she said, I do have other friends that went and did it.
Mm.
Okay. So you had somebody out there outside of you that was like, this can be done. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of what holds plenty of people back is the fact that they don't have the support system or the example system, as I like to call it, of those people that say, go do that. My dad, I only knew my dad as an entrepreneur who had his own business
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So then later, as he got closer to, I got tired of this, he went to go work for the school district as a teacher. And that was the only time I knew him to have an actual job, an official job that wasn't, his name on the stuff. So I always fought that. And I did the reverse. I was like, oh, let me go do corporate America first.
Mm-hmm.
And came back to say, I really don't like people telling me what to do. And so, yeah,
Yeah, I
resonate with you.
I've never been good at other people telling me what to do. It just didn't really work. But it's really interesting what you're saying about the support. I did know other people who'd done what I'd done, what I was thinking of doing, and one of them, I'm still in touch with her. She's a graphic designer, and she actually designed my logo, which what's behind me here is based on. And I still use it 23 years on. And she was actually somebody who she gave me some really good advice right at the start of my business. She said, go networking. And I was like, what's networking? Because I work for corporates, and networking there was the boss would go and play golf with his mates on a Friday. That was networking. In England, we have huge networking opportunities, and I'd never heard of it. So I started investigating and went out and found some networking groups that were specifically for small businesses, and that saved me. That kept me going, because not only did it bring me business from the people in the room, but it gave me the support. And I'm still involved in all sorts of networking groups, as much for the support. So if there's anyone listening to this, watching, who is thinking, should I go and do it? Where do I find the support? It's out there. There are networks of small businesses or coaches or consultants or in local areas. Hunt them out, go and join in, and they're great, because everyone's going through the same thing. Everyone's been in or are in the same boat. So yeah, really worth doing. You are not alone.
Right. Thank you. That was great. I even wrote down, I'm like, okay, Joe, go research the small business networking events that are out here. I do have a couple I'm already part of, but yeah, I'm like, go find more, because
Absolutely.
a lot of times you can barter.
Yes.
Right. Where if you need a product or service, they need what you have the ability to barter, and no money has to exchange. Right. But again, and the camaraderie, and the most important thing I got when you said is, you're not alone. Okay. And when you get there and realize that other people have the same issues, or other people have already conquered those dilemmas, right, and can totally save you the pain that goes through.
Yeah. Quick plug, because you said I can do sales.
Yes.
At the beginning of when the UK, I suppose, when most of the world started going into lockdown, so March, April 2020, I set up something called Marketing Mondays, and it's still going. So on the first Monday of every month at 2 p.m. UK time, I run a free Zoom call for small businesses. And anyone who likes to can come along and ask questions about their marketing. And originally it was me saying, you guys come and ask me questions and I'll answer them. And I might have 20 or 30 people on each call. And what I found is that I can answer the questions, but so does everyone else. And they love the networking. There are people who come to learn from the others. So I've got a Facebook group. If you go to Facebook and look for Marketing Mondays, if you go to my other website, which isn't the one that's on the screen that Joe's put up, if you go to appletreeuk.com, there's a page on there for Marketing Mondays, and you can sign up. And yeah, that's the same thing. There are people who come to it for networking, to ask questions and have them answered by somebody else, because somebody else has been there and done it, and they'll go, oh, I can give you my advice. Love it. It's great fun.
No, that's fantastic. And a lot of times, guess what? It's proven. Nobody's giving you the bad advice that didn't work. So those people aren't in the group anymore because they don't have a business.
Exactly.
Okay, so fantastic. So as we go forward, what I want to do is I want to unleash it and say you now are teaching to everybody that's out there. So what would you say to the group of entrepreneurs, to the people that they need to understand, again, about being more passionate, about getting the information out there? I believe we talked, there was 5 steps that you may have that can do it. So for all of the anal retentive individuals like myself who've already numbered it 1 through 5 on the page, so that we can, we're to those people who go, actually, Chantal, before you leave, you've only given us 4.
Okay.
So
I will give you all 5. Don't worry. So they're not steps to follow. What they are is I've been looking for quite a few years now. I've been looking at what makes successful businesses stand out and be different from other people. So as an example, I work with a lot of coaches, and a lot of them will say things like, oh, I'm different because I've been doing it for a long time, or I'm different because I get you from where you are to where you want to be. That's what everybody says.
yes.
I started digging into actually the emotions behind why people buy. We don't buy on rationality. We don't buy something because this will work, because we need it. We buy it because we want it. Quite often, test this out. I do this with shoes and boots all the time. I don't need another pair of boots, but I want them, and they're gorgeous. And I will justify, my heart will go, oh, I need to have those boots. And then my head will go, yeah, well, those boots will go better with that outfit than those ones will. So I started digging into this more, and I've identified 5, for those of you who have this written down, 5 different strategies, which I'll take you through. Now, every business that I've spoken to about this has one main strategy. So of the 5, as I talk through them, what you're listening out for is what resonates with you most. You might listen to me talk about the first 3 and go, nah, that's not me. Wait until number 4 or number 5. You're not looking to use all 5 of them, because this is about standing out and being unique. You're looking for one of them. You might have a secondary one, but mostly it's just one. And it's about the language and the feelings that your clients have when they work with you. So it's not about you or me. It's not about us as the business owner. We are not the hero of this story. The client is the hero. The simplest way to work out which strategy is the right one for you is to listen to what your clients say. So if you say to your clients, why do you love working with me? How do you feel when you work with me? Listen to what they say, write it down, record it. That's what you're looking for. It's the words, the emotions, the feelings that will help you work out which strategy. So let me take you through the 5 strategies. And I have an order because it's alphabetical and it's just easier for me to remember them this way. Okay.
I appreciate that.
It's my organized brain. So yeah. Number 1 is certainty. This is where clients will work with you because you're a safe pair of hands. You will do what you say you're going to do. You will look after them. You will nurture them and care for them. You'll take them on the journey. So as an example of a coach who might use certainty, will say, where do you want to go, Mr. or Mrs. Client? And the client will say, I want to climb Everest. They'll say, okay, let's look at how to get you up Everest. Not, oh, let's go swimming with dolphins or sharks. Or It's like, no, this is, I will look after you. I will be your Sherpa. I will carry your pack and help you get up the mountain. So it's really about safety, security, looking after your clients. So if clients want security, they will use words and phrases like, oh, you give me peace of mind. You make me feel safe. You keep me informed, but you don't confuse me. My strategy, the one I use most of the time, is certainty. And it's the least sexy of the five. And for me, it just works. A lot of my clients are really scared of social media. So when I say to them, you don't have to go on Instagram, and they go, oh, thank God for that. You know, they relax. They have said to me, Chantal, you are the safe pair of hands. You guide us, you look after us, you tell us not to. I spend more time telling my clients not to do things. Like, don't do that, do this.
Right.
So that's what does that make sense, Joe? About all about certainty?
I love it, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not that one. That's what I've already learned.
Fine.
So yeah, no, because I was like, I fought myself to go. What about? And I was like, just let her go. She said there's 5. Calm down.
Absolutely.
Right? You've already controlled my ADHD because I know there's 5 coming, so I can wait until we see.
Yeah. If anyone is listening and thinking no, certainty isn't me, yeah, that's fine. You may not be till you get to the end of it. Okay, so that's certainty. The second one is connection. This is about when clients will work with you because they know that you can connect them to the people they need to know. Now, word of warning here. This is not about the connection that we have with our clients. That is vital. We have to connect with our clients in order to work with them and for them to feel safe and for them to buy from us. But this connection, networking groups, for example, I'm involved over here in the UK. I'm involved with something called the Professional Speaking Association. We've got sister associations all over the world. There's something called NSA in the States, but we've got the PSA over here. And I've been their marketing director for nearly 4 years. And at the beginning, we used to promote the PSA on, oh, we can help you become a better speaker. What we realized is that people stay because of the connections that we can help them make. So we run events every month. We run a big national conference in the autumn every year. It's coming up in a couple of months' time. People come to the event so they can meet other speakers, other people that they can learn from, but also other speakers who'll go, oh, I could recommend you to so-and-so. You know, I get a lot of speaking work. In fact, all of my speaking work comes from recommendations through people I know in the PSA. I have a contact in Ireland who put me in touch with a speaker in Atlanta, Georgia, who put me forward for a speaking gig in Portugal that was being run by a Brazilian company. Like, you just cannot plan this stuff. But it was because I
You
know.
can say you're international and just on one speaking event.
I know, it's so cool. Just on one thing. And it was because I know Eamon in Ireland through this organization. So if you run a business which is all about connecting people, then connection is probably one of your strategy. And the words to listen out for are things like belonging, connectedness, family. We use the word tribe sometimes with the PSA. It's an interesting word. A lot of our members talk about, oh, the PSA is my family, it's my tribe. Now we know that there are some interesting connotations with the word tribe, so we have to be careful. But does that make sense? That's
Yeah.
the feeling.
It's morphed into something more acceptable as your tribe than I believe a while ago it did have a negative connotation, but I think our newest generation has adopted it as their word now to say these are my people. Yeah.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, these are my people. I might borrow that one. Yeah. So
I never heard it. It's all yours.
yeah. So it's about so clients. If clients come to you for introductions to their people, to their group, to their family. Other. We talked earlier about going networking, and there was one I went to years and years ago when I first started my business, and it was really similar, like-minded small business owners. We all got together every couple of weeks and shared war stories and shared ideas. So yeah, that's connection. That's number two.
And that's also a good thing when you look at, like, for example, I know somebody who's a coach who says, I love being connected to people, but connects no one.
Yeah.
Right. They look at it and I'll go, hey, I just connected so and so and so and so together. And he'll be like, ooh, really? I like to keep my network, protected behind the wall and stuff like that. And I'm like, you do what? What? And I'm like, I look for mutual benefit, right? So if I was sitting here, somebody said, hey, I need da 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 da, I'd be like, Chantal, is it okay if I connect you with this person? I mean, I don't just go blind texting people in a group, but yeah, that's
yeah.
definitely
Yeah, much better. And it's about with connections, it's about paying it forward. So I might recommend, Eamon recommended me to Jamie. I haven't been able to recommend Eamon yet, but I will probably at some point go, oh yeah, actually, and it all gets passed around. So yeah, I'm a big fan of abundance, and let's share as much as we can. Don't hold it close. Let it out. Much better.
I agree. That's how we ended up connecting. The answer is we're not competing, right? There's plenty for everybody. Let's go. Yeah. So.
Okay, strategy number 3 is one I call contribution. This is when clients will come and work with you because they want to feel part of something bigger. They want to do more. It's Friday night as we're recording this. Tomorrow, my partner and I and our dog are going to go and spend the afternoon standing in a field wearing bright blue t-shirts, cheering people across the finish line. It's a charity that we support, it's a charity over here called Alzheimer's Society. And they are running a sponsored walk. We walked it 2 years ago. You can either do 13 miles or 26. So 26 miles is a marathon. And we're volunteering for the day. And they've given us the best job because we get to be on the finish line going, yes, come on, you've done it. Get across the finish line. We're going to be handing out Prosecco and medals and probably putting plasters and Band-Aids on people's feet. Because it gives us a kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling. Yes, we can promote the fact that we're doing it, but mostly we're doing it because it'll make us feel good. We walked that trip 2 years ago, and it was really hard. And it was fabulous having people all along the way going, do you need a drink? Do you need a hand? Do you need, people cheering you on, spraying you down with water because it's really hot. So charities, a lot of charities, when they get their marketing right, they use contribution. So it's not about saying, oh, please just donate some money. It's more about, oh, come to the event and you'll have loads of fun. We've been sent new t-shirts. We've been sent all sorts of emails and texts about, oh, it's going to be a great day. We're really looking forward to having you there. Thank you so much for coming along. So we're not earning any money from it. We are going to go home feeling really good about ourselves from having supported the charity. We will be wearing our t-shirts with pride. It means that the charity get promotion. Right. If we leave the event with our t-shirts on, people go, oh, Alzheimer's Society. We will post about it on social media because that raises awareness of the charity even more. So that's a really nice example of contribution. It's about philanthropy. It's got a big word, but it's about not just saying, oh, it's just my business, I've got to keep it all for me. It's like, who else can I help? Where else what else can I donate to? So that's contribution.
And that you'll find much less contradiction from your customers when you say post on social media, because it would be doing it for others. Absolutely. Right? And so they'd be like, oh, I'll post on my t-shirt. And you're like, well, then post about your business. They're like, oh, no. I'm not braggadocious. I don't want to be that person. Self-fulfilling. You're like, no. Yeah.
But yeah, I will probably after tomorrow, we'll take lots of photos of people crossing the line. We'll take photos of us at the line. The dog's going to have her bright blue bandana on as well. I will probably post tomorrow and next week to say, this is what we did at the weekend. But I'll put some sort of marketing angle onto it. I haven't figured out what it is yet, but it won't be me going, yeah, look at me, my business is great. It'll be, look at this charity and how great they are. And we went and spent a weekend with them. So it's a contribution is a fun one.
Apple Tree Marketing is so happy to be asked to help this organization and support them, and everyone's a winner.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And it's not going to rain tomorrow, so we're fine. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is called growth. This is where your clients come to work with you because they want to grow themselves or their business or both. I have a fabulous coach, a chap called Ian, who I've worked with for about 6 years now. And I met Ian at an event, and he was looking for coachees, for people to coach, and I volunteered, and I've been with him ever since. And at the start, the very first conversation we had, he said, like, what do you want to achieve? And we actually talked about the growth of my business. So we started working on it, and every month we would have a call and we'd set goals and we'd look at the challenges, and it was really great having somebody cheering me on. So words like motivation, inspiration, drive, encouragement, passion, these are words, if you think growth is your strategy, those are words to listen out for in what your clients say. And that was all great. That was all going really smoothly. And then probably about 18 months into working with Ian, my mum was taken really ill and she died. And we had about 4 days of between she's gone into hospital, she's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crap actually. But I had Ian on side because I had a call with Ian. I'm like, Ian, my mum's just died. I don't know what to do. And we completely switched to working on me. I'm a very creative person. I love creating. I make cards for people and all sorts of silly stuff. And I've got a board here in my office, and I've got messages on it that are phrases that Ian and I worked on. And I've embellished them with, I stick things on, and I've got pretty sparkly things. And it just, every now and then I look and I go, oh, yeah.
I feel there's just glitter in your office somewhere.
Oh, there's all sorts of glitter and fun stuff. And there's a chicken and some pom-poms over there as well. So it's dark. You can't see, but it's a bit dark now. I've got a windowsill behind me that's covered in stuffed toys. Anyway, so Ian and I moved from working on the growth of my business to working on my personal growth. And we still have monthly calls, and he's got me through losing both my parents, getting through a divorce, getting through COVID, just all sorts of stuff. But what I've worked out is that if I'm not okay, then my business won't be okay. So, and I see this a lot with really good coaches. They don't just focus on growth of a business, they have to focus on the growth of a person. So anyone who's watching this, who's thinking, is growth my strategy? Encouragement, drive, passion. If clients come to you and go, oh, I couldn't get through this without you. It's not, certainty is about being on the journey with somebody, but growth is going, yeah, come on, let's go up the next mountain. Okay, we've done that one, what next? And really focusing on goals. So that's growth. Growth is a fun one. That's a really fun one. Have we hit yours yet, Joe?
Growth. Yeah. But I'm holding back because I don't know what number 5 was. I will tell you, Chantal, I was so excited that the 4th one was not a C letter. I was over here going, we got C. Is she going to come up with 5 C's in a row? And then I was like, okay, so we got the CONT. Okay, she said it's all going to be alphabetical. And I'm like, C, where are we going to go next?
Okay. We're gonna go to S next for number 5.
Okay.
Significance. Significance is a really fun one too. This is when clients will work with you because you can help them to stand up, speak out, be heard, make more impact. Again, I see this a lot with a lot of coaches and consultants. They one of my clients, Sue, is a brilliant coach and trainer, and she specializes in working with women, helping them become more assertive. Because quite often us girls are a bit good at going, oh, actually, I don't think I'm good enough. I'm not good enough to go for that promotion. And Sue's training is all about getting people going, you know what? I'm fabulous. Give me the job. So that's significance. It's about being heard. It's not just about getting a promotion. It might be men and women in a board meeting, in a team meeting where people just aren't quite brave enough to stand up and be heard. I have a bit of a reputation for speaking my mind.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that at all.
No, I used to be really shy. Seriously, when I first went networking 20 something years ago, I would just sit there and go, I don't know what to say. Whereas now, if I'm at an event and somebody says, I think X plus, I'm like, hang on, no, that's wrong. Don't do that with your marketing. So significance is about having that having the guts, having somebody who will work with you to give you that bravery to go, you know what? I'm making a stand. I'm speaking out. I'm saying what I want to say. I am going to be heard. That's significance. It sometimes gets coaches into trouble because their clients go off and get better jobs. And that's fine. You know, if you help somebody get a promotion or get a new job, they're going to go elsewhere. And that's fine. But that's what it's about. And we need people like that who will say, no, come on, you're really good. Get out there and shout about it and tell the world. So that's it. That's significance. Those are the 5. Do you want a quick recap?
I'm just telling you, look, I took the notes that I went through, and that's why I was waiting. So significance, I get it, but one of the words I took away from the significance is the bravery, right? So you have to have a brave person to teach a brave person.
Yes, you
And
do.
so in looking at that, right, you would have to be significant to coach on significance, where, right, sometimes you can get away with the fact that I may not be the best financial person, but I understand my product enough that I can talk around it, but on that one. So I do love that. So the certainty one, I totally get it. Not me. I was going with the C word myself over here. And I was like, so this person is more like your caddy if you went golfing, because you had said the golf person, the boss would go golfing for networking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice one. I like that.
And so then here, use this club. Here, do this. I've been on this before. I know this one, and to go through and to work with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, the connecting one, I tell people I'm a blatant connector because I'm just rude about it. I'm like, we're gonna connect you to this person. Why? Because you need it, and go through. And again, I haven't anybody go, no, I hate that. I only had one guy go, protect. No, go away. Right? If we play small, we end up small, and I don't want to play with that. So the contributions, right, and the giving back, and I was like, these people are much more mission driven, and if you could be part of where they're going in the mission, you're like certainty with more emotion is what I looked at.
Yeah, nice way of putting it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And so, and I'm throwing this at you so you can correct it before I log off and go, goes off on his own with something he made up on his own because he heard it. Yeah. And then the growth one, that's me. My answer is, where are we going? What are we doing? How do we get better? And that's what resonated with me is that, so companies hire me. So I go in to the company, but I work with the individuals. And so, and when you were talking, I was like, oh yeah, I had somebody that I said, well, let me bring one of my trainers in and do this. And they were like, no. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you have done this. Right? I'm here. Your trainer's here. I'm like, but my trainer's not here to train you. It's there to train your people up because they are higher than your person. And he was like, no. I want you here because I want that. And so if my people get it and learn it too, that's great. But I want you here for me to grow me up to this point. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And again, a lot of people that are in a higher level position tend to have an ego that they don't need help to grow. That's there. So I'm always grateful when somebody's like, hey, you help me do this. And I'm like, okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah, cool.
And in the growth where it's motivation, passion, right? Being driven, stuff like that. I also throw in there, that's the one that's easiest to implement humor.
Yes. Yeah.
Humor's my jam. Right? I know that if I get Chantal laughing like we were before, if you laugh, then I know your ego got checked enough to hear what I said.
Yeah.
Which means we can go do this, right? Now I'm here to learn from you. But when when we look at it, when I'm training somebody, if they're laughing, I know the barrier's been dropped,
Yeah.
and that allows me to input things that need to go to push them. But
Yeah.
I have some clients that literally pay me to come into a company so that they can grow personally, not
Hmm.
the company. And they hide it under the thing of I want my people trained, but the answer, the answer is, oh no, no, you could do this, you could do that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, so that's I mean you were saying, I'm like, okay, I found it. I found it.
There we go.
The significance part, yes. And I know there's a lot of people that need help with the significance because we've been told many times, a lot of us just depends. Parents are parents all over the world, but it's don't be boastful. Don't
Hmm.
go put yourself in front of it because again, right? The higher the monkey climbs, the more of his behind shows, right? And the more of a target you become, the easier it is for people to hit you. And,
Yeah. And we have something over here in the UK. I don't know why we're really good at being a bit at hiding and going, oh no, no, I'm not very good. So yeah, we do. We need people who will go, actually, you are great. Get out there and shout about it. So
right. And again, it goes against a lot of what we're taught and convinced growing up, and whether it was done intentionally or not by our parents. I say, look, you're just like when I had kids. Guess what? I wasn't ready. You know, no matter how much planning we put into it and what have you, but it was like you're not ready for the situation, and
mm,
everybody does the best that they can in the situation they are.
yeah,
And
I was
so,
I was lucky because both my mum and my stepdad ran their own businesses, so they understood that you have to go out there and shout about it and put on a brave face and fake it until you make it and all that lovely stuff. And yeah, so that was especially my mum. She was a massive inspiration to me of like, well, if she wanted something, she went out and got it. She went after it. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. So
right. That's
cool.
it. By example, right? The five people around you.
Yeah.
So be selective. So that's fantastic. And it stuck with you forever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So overall, this is what I want to say. I'm so grateful that you decided to stay up with us not that she goes to bed at 7 o'clock. Everybody chill out.
No, but it's nearly 8 o'clock now, and it's time
Right.
for a glass of wine.
Right.
Before I go, Joe, I know my website address has been scrolling across the screen, but
Yes.
if anyone who's watching is still not sure about their strategy, go to my website. There's a big button on the right hand side that says take the test. Click that button and you will see 5 lists of words. I've mixed up the words so you won't know which strategy is which. I know because I've color coded them. Tick as many, just look through the 5 lists, tick as many of them as you feel resonate. So if there are words like you were saying earlier, Joe, around motivation, drive, passion, if you hear that from your clients, tick that box. At the bottom, stick in your name and your email address and how you heard about me and hit submit. That will send all the results through to me, and I can then do a quick report, and I'll send out anyone who wants it. I send out an ebook and I'll send you a personalized report that says, this is your strategy, this is what you need to do about it. So Joe, yours would say
You're a marketing person, which means you could market to your ideal client. What a
oh,
concept. And
oh
then your
what a
your
thought.
business becomes easier.
I'd
She
never
told me
thought
this
of
before the call. It wasn't that I got that. She told me this earlier. She goes, Joe, when I say this, interrupt and say this.
that.
She was just trying to be nice and make me look good on the show. But
Yeah. So yeah, go and fill in the form. And yeah, Joe, yours. I mean, if you want to do it, go for it because
I will. Yeah.
great. We know your strategy is growth, but what I'll do is I'll send you more information about how to use the growth language, where to put it. Some people, I had a really interesting one filled in recently where somebody had ticked the same number of boxes on all 5 columns, and I went back to him and said, have another go, take a bit more time. I then looked at this guy's website and I can see from his business, I know exactly which his strategy is. I'm not going to tell him. It wasn't, no, it was growth for him. But I didn't want to tell him that. I don't know how I do it. I think I've been studying this material for so long that I can look at somebody's business and go, oh yeah, yours is this strategy. but it works better if you take the test or you listen to me speak and you make the decision. If I'm working one-to-one with a client, I have to tell them the 5 and then sit really quietly and go, what do you think? And I know already. So if you want to know more, take the test, because it will also show you that you may have a secondary one. Quite often, some people will have certainty with a little splash of growth. You might have growth with a little splash of significance. Some of them do go together. It's very rare that two of them, two are really high up on the levels, but you might have one up there and one down here. So yeah, take the test. Go to my website. Take the test. I'll send the report out, and
the pop-up on my website talks about a client success. So right there, the first pop-up says, hey, this happened, client said this, and this is what they got. So it's a testimonial, but of very large growth. But it could be mixed with a little bit of significance at the same time. She's so sitting there quiet, going, yeah, go take the test. Go take the test. I already know you. I know where it is. Yes, but perfect. So Chantal, again, thank you so much for coming up. I encourage everybody, get out there, take the test. You're going to benefit from it. You have an expert that came on, shared with us, that also said, hey, I'll give you a report for free. It costs you an email. Stop it. This is nothing bad, right? Oh my goodness, what if you end up on a marketing list of valuable information that helps you sell more and be better? Oh, wow, this is brutal, right? I don't bring on just anybody. So this is fantastic. Chantal, thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and end the show like I normally do. Everybody needs to go out and sell something.